Curse of Blood, the Viking Slayer. When blood and curse intertwine, terror rises from the shadows of the past. Chapter 1, The First Blood. The night was bone-chillingly cold, and the sky was as dark as death itself. The wind howled through the barren trees, whispering eerie sounds that mimicked the cries of lost souls. In the Viking village of Högavar, where warriors slept with swords beside them and children huddled under heavy fur blankets, everyone believed this night would be just like any other. They were terribly mistaken. A blood-curdling scream shattered the silence, a sound so harrowing it resembled the cries of someone having their eyes ripped out while still alive. Warriors burst from their homes, their eyes blazing like embers in the darkness, swords drawn, ready to face any threat. But as they reached the village square, their expressions twisted from anger to sheer horror. There, in front of the ancient stone temple, lay a body, torn apart as if some inhuman force had devoured it while it still breathed. It was Odin, one of the village's fiercest fighters. His eyes were missing, his chest carved with an unrecognizable symbol drawn in his own blood. Standing over the gruesome sight, Ragnar, the leader of the warriors, felt a cold dread creeping into his bones. Behind him, the village's old priest muttered in a trembling voice, "He has returned. The curse is not over." Chapter 2, The Shadow Without a Trace. As dawn broke, the warriors gathered around the mangled corpse, their faces like chiseled stone, their minds battling disbelief and fear. There were no footprints leading to or from the body, only Odin's own, as if he had been walking alone when something from the abyss took him. That night, the village was tense, every home locked, every warrior gripping his weapon under his fur cloak. But death was not finished with them. Before the sun could rise again, another body was discovered, this time, nailed to a tree in the village center. His lifeless form dangled, his stomach ripped open as if clawed apart by something not of this world. On the bark, written in his blood, "Death is coming for you all." Chapter 3, The Legend of the Cursed Slayer. The village council gathered in the great hall, their faces etched with fear and grim realization. Every shadow in the room felt alive, as if waiting to strike. In the farthest corner sat Astrid, the oldest seer of the tribe, a woman who carried the nightmares of the past in her weary eyes. Lifting her gaze to Ragnar, she spoke in a voice as fragile as old parchment. 100 years ago, there was a warrior named Haldor, the strongest of our kin. But the chieftain of that time betrayed him. Accused of treason he did not commit, he was dragged to the woods. But he did not die alone. Before his final breath, he swore upon his blood that he would return, to take vengeance on the descendants of those who wronged him. Are you saying this killer is the spirit of Haldor? Chapter 4, The Night That Will Not Be Forgotten. Determined to end this horror, Ragnar gathered his finest warriors and led them into the cursed forest. But the forest was different that night. The trees murmured in voices unheard before, and the dead leaves under their boots made no sound. It was as if they had stepped into another realm. Then, suddenly, they all froze. A figure sat atop a moss-covered stone, a corpse long dead yet still bleeding, its wounds fresh. As Ragnar approached, the body's eyes snapped open, locking onto him, and in a voice distorted beyond recognition, it whispered, "You are too late." In the next instant, its head exploded like a rotting fruit, spraying the ground with blood. Chapter 5, Death That Does Not Die. The warriors returned to the village in utter terror. They knew now that this was no mortal killer. Then, in the dead of night, the screams began again. Flames engulfed the village, and through the fire, a figure emerged, a towering man, his skin ashen as a decaying corpse, his eyes pits of endless blackness, holding an axe that dripped with fresh blood. Haldor had returned, to finish what he had started. Chapter 6, The Horrifying Truth. The village elders convened inside their sacred stone temple, their faces grave. They turned to Ragnar with the truth they had hidden for generations. The ancient priest spoke with a voice thick with dread, "The first betrayer, the one who doomed Haldor a century ago, was your ancestor, Ragnar." A chill cut through Ragnar's spine like an icy dagger. "You are the last of the bloodline, Ragnar. You are his final target." Chapter 7, the final confrontation. With no choice but to face his fate, Ragnar took up his sword and ventured alone into the abandoned temple where Haldor had been seen last. There, amidst the flickering torchlight, stood the cursed warrior, waiting. A sinister grin split his decayed face. "I've waited a long time for you, Ragnar." And with that, he lunged, his axe swinging with the force of a storm, beginning a battle unlike any seen before. Chapter 8, The Curse That Would Not Die. After a brutal fight, Ragnar plunged his sword deep into Haldor's heart. As the cursed warrior crumbled into ash, Ragnar whispered, "Your curse ends here." But as he returned to the village, the people recoiled in horror. His eyes had turned completely black. Chapter 9, The New Heir to the Curse. In the following nights, Ragnar heard the whispers. Saw the shadows move. Until one morning, he awoke to find Haldor's axe beside him, still dripping with blood. The curse had chosen its new host. Chapter 10, The Curse That Never Fades. When blood and curse intertwine, there is no escape.